Flosstube, I'm back. Oh my gosh, have I missed you guys. I'm Erin, for anyone who's new here, the 2 Martini Stitcher, both here on YouTube and on Instagram, and this is a channel about cross stitch. If you're a returner, oh my gosh, I've missed you guys. It feels like forever, although my end of the year WIP parade posted while we were on vacation. Feels like forever since I've recorded. I planned to record. We got back from our trip to Hawaii last Thursday. Today is Monday, January 6th. Monday, January 6th, 2020. Welcome to 2020, guys. I had planned to record last Thursday, the day we got home. Well, like the day after we got home. We traveled home on Wednesday, got in after midnight. So technically Thursday. I was planning to record that day, except that Wednesday I woke up so sick. I guess if you're going to get sick on vacation, the day you're leaving is the perfect day to do it. You can see I still have some sniffles. I'm still battling a cold. But I got cold meds on board. I have my tea, no cocktail because cold meds, my tea, and I have my tissues. So hopefully if any sneezing or anything occurs, I will catch it quick enough to pause the video. Yeah, so I got sick the day we were leaving and lost my voice as well. So no recording, but my voice is back. And I thought about waiting until my normal day, but I already feel like I have so much to show you and I'm so far behind. And honestly, with the new year, sorry guys, my ears are also all plugged up. I'm not firing on all cylinders today, so this could be interesting. Let's see how it goes. Anyhow, with the new year and the way I'm going to rotate my full coverage pieces and the way Enchanting Stitches homework is, this might just be the new recording day. I might, instead of waiting a week and a half, I think I might just be recording on Mondays now. What do we think? How do you feel about that? I mean, it might be just how it is anyway, but hopefully that doesn't really throw anybody's week that they're like, no, I watch you on Thursdays. Since I've been home, I've pretty much done nothing but stitch, which was great because I didn't hardly do any stitching at all on the trip, pretty much on the plane. And I attempted to stitch at the beach one day. But other than that, there was no stitching while I was gone. There's been a ton of stitching since I've been back, because I just sat and stitched and binge watched all of the not all, I still have a bunch to watch, but so many end of the year WIP parades, 2019 wrap-ups, 2020 plans. Oh, so fun. So many fun Flosstube videos. Since I had said, I think on my last regular Flosstube that I would give you end of the year stats on my WIP parade. And then I didn't because I recorded that WIP parade the next day, and I thought that I potentially might have, you never know what's going to happen. You could have new starts or finishes. I clearly had grandiose ideas of finishing something before the end of the year. Didn't happen. But so I have all my stats for you now, and we'll talk a little bit more about 2020 plans. And I've been using my new planner. I love it so much. But I did want to just throw in just a couple little stats, because I did go back and tally everything up from when I started recording those type of things in May. So I only first really got into everything really got back into cross stitch big time March, April, and in May actually started writing everything down, and that's when I really had a bunch of new starts. Started the year of starts apparently, because I had 58. So from May to the end of the year, I had 58 new starts that I kept track of. I only have, I also counted Harry Potter because I had that start date. Yes. Because I knew that I started that one on April 1st, the Harry Potter book covers. So I have 58 starts. I only have 2 WIPs that I don't know when I started them. So I only have 2 that are older than May 1st. I think that I started them in April sometime. From my recollection is that I started them for School of Magical Stitches challenges, which I didn't join until the end of March. So I have 2 starts that I don't know when their birthdays are, but are in somewhere in April. So I had 58 starts this past year, 26 finishes. So I feel pretty good about that. I mean, I do have a lot of WIPs. I mean, did we count during the WIP parade? I don't know. I know that those sheets in the, I'll show you guys the planner because I know I showed it before, but I just love it. I'm using it. I'm loving it. The WIP lists pages have 17. So I have 2 full pages. So that's 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. That includes 2 things I've started this year. So wait, when did I say 34, 35, 36? Carried 36 WIPs. Pardon me. I carried 36 WIPs into 2020. Does that math work? I don't know. I'm not going to worry about it. It's got to be close. So that was where I landed last year. Right now I'm planning on a full traditional mania where I'm going to start 20 projects, potentially 21. There might be 21 starts, just looking at the way the month falls, the way the month works out. Yeah. So I am going to start a bunch of things. Other than that, though, I think the starts are going to be a little fewer, farther between for special occasion things. I will have a birthday start. I'm going to have an anniversary start either at the beginning of April because that's our anniversary month or on our anniversary. So I'm really focusing on finishing things this year. I've apparently just jumped into plans. Did you see how that happened? I was going to show you what I worked on, but apparently we're just jumping into plans because cold meds. Erin doesn't know what she's doing. As the end of the year approached, and I really kind of took a hard look at what I wanted to do this year, and I did the WIP parade, and that really made me touch everything and look at all of the projects. I really gave some thought to how I wanted this year to look, stitching-wise, and reevaluated the groups I was in and what I was going to participate, and this is pretty much where I have landed. I'm not doing School of Magical Stitches this year. I love that group. I think it's fantastic. I encourage anybody who is into challenge groups to do it. I joined last year because of Harry Potter. I love Harry Potter. I also do love Disney. We go to Disney a lot. I love all the Disney movies, but I'm also in Enchanted Stitching. And so the 2 groups felt really, really similar to me theme-wise, and I like how the Enchanted Stitching group is set up. I just couldn't, for me, I couldn't wrap my brain around how the Magical Stitches was going to work this year with stitching to build parks. It's a cool thing. You're working together as a team to build the parks, save the parks. I don't know. I'm also a West Coaster and I'm a Disneyland girl. So part of that is I've been to Disney World. I grew up going to Disney World. Since we moved out here, we've become Disneyland fanatics. So I haven't been to Disney World in 10, 11 years, 12 years, long time, 11 years probably. I probably wouldn't even recognize the place. There's so much new stuff. So I'm going to be staying in Enchanted Stitching. And that is the only group I think that I'm doing weekly tasks. Full Coverage Fanatics, I'm in doing the national parks and stitching all the national parks and participate in any of the other events in Full Coverage Fanatics that fit in with the 2 full coverage pieces I have going. I also am keeping an eye on Semi-Sane Stitchers. They do fun events, so anything that really speaks to me that I want to jump into on Semi-Sane, I will do. And then the big thing that I joined was WIP Go, Jessie Marie's group WIP Go. And I'll link all of these groups down below so you can go check them out. There's so many fun groups on Facebook for cross-stitching, and I love them. I am so inspired, and it helps me pick out what I'm going to work on and challenges me to work on different projects. I love them. But I really loved the idea of WIP Go. So I printed out, I think I posted this, but I printed out, she has a file in the group with a board. So you pick 25 projects. It's a 5x5 grid, or 24 if you put a free space in the middle. So it's kind of like bingo. And then every month, Jessie Marie calls 2 numbers, and those are like what you're working towards that month. So the nice thing is you set it up with whatever projects you want and whatever goals you want. So I'll show you guys my WIP Go board. I put both Harry Potter book covers and Farewell to Anger on here twice as essentially a page finish. I did it as 8,000 stitches, which is a traditional full coverage page, but the way I'm stitching those, I couldn't just say a page finish because you'll see. You'll see. I don't stitch a traditional page by page. So I put 8,000 stitches, and they're both on there twice. So essentially I have 2 page finishes. I also have Everything is Fine as a finish, Hello Pumpkin as a finish, chalkboard ornaments to finish a set, finish arranging vegetables, Laundry Company Irony, Promise of Spring, that was called this month. Promise of Spring was number 6, was called. So you'll see lots of that. I have that down for a finish on Gobble Gob. I have Game of Swans on here twice. This is a big stretch goal for me, but I have it on here twice. I have half done as one goal and then the second half done. So if I don't get it, I didn't want to put it in as just once as a finish because that's a big stretch for me to finish Game of Swans this year. But I thought if I could work towards halfway and met that goal, then I could work towards finishing it and finishing the second half. French Kitchen Collection Club is on here twice, so finishing 2, but as I'm going to finish at least 2 of that series. Playing with Jax as a finish, Holly and Hearts as a finish, Love My Stitching as a finish, Tingles as a finish. Finish one of the Mill Hill seasonal magnets. I got some more of them. Did I show you guys those? I must have because I put them away. I don't know. Because I just like them. They're fun and I figure they can go up on my magnet board. So I bought several of them, but I'd like to finish at least one more this year. Cinnamon Stars as a finish. The third, and then the third in the series of Laundry Company. So that's what's on my WIP Go board. This month, French Kitchen Collection and Promise of Spring were pulled. So I'm going to make those fit as many challenges as possible and work towards a finish on those for WIP Go. How's that? What do we think about that? Yay! So let's get into what I worked on. I got really, so you can see some of these projects because I've been working on them. I got really kind of like, I don't know, lazy, but it just got busy. Like you guys know, it got super busy right before Christmas and then we left. And somewhere along the way, I think after I recorded my last video, I kind of quit writing down what I was working on every day. It was still in that big wall calendar and it's kind of cumbersome. I'm loving this because I can just, even though it's a big full size, like I printed it out full size. And this is, for those of you guys who are new or haven't seen this before, this is housing Jen Lee's 24 hours of cross stitch planner. And I'll link that below. You can buy it on our Etsy shop. It is amazing. There's like 86 pages of printables. And then I have, so I have mine set up by month. So you can see, here's my January highlights. I put in what my focus pieces are, or goals for the month, which has my focus pieces from WIP Go. You can log your new starts. I already had a couple of those. This is, and some of these are still, all the ones that she did in the group for free, the acrostic, the calendar, and the holidays, you can still, like she's still going to put those up for free in her group, but just like, if you buy the planner, you get them all plus a ton more ahead of time. Whereas like right now, you don't know what the February acrostic is unless you bought the planner. So I'm using the monthly to track my daily stitches on my full coverage pieces. And that helps me with full coverage fanatics and any other, like if I'm using it for any other goals. Here's my January acrostic. Hold that up. There we go. So that's all filled out. Somehow have to fit that in along with WIP Go. and all the challenges. I did put in some blank dot paper as well, so I could do things like plan out. That's like the monthly extra credit for enchanted stitching. I haven't figured out what I'm using for everything quite yet, but I'm getting there. And then there's weekly printables. So this was like last week. You can see I wasn't home until these days. So that's been great because now I'm back to writing everything down. All of that to say that I lost it. I lost the thread there for like a week and a half of writing down what I was working on. And I think before we left, I really wasn't working on much of anything except maybe Harry Potter book covers. I don't know. So I'm going to show you Harry Potter book covers because I know I worked on that more since the last time I showed it. I'm pretty sure I did. If not, you guys just get to see it again. So I'm going to show that. I'm going to show what I worked on during our trip and since our trip. There might have been some other things I worked on before we left, but I don't know what they are. So here is Harry Potter book covers where I left it when we left for our trip. Boom. Shaka-laka. Look at that, guys. I went on like a tear. I really wanted to finish up the full coverage Fanatics 1200 by the numbers and do all the catch up for the whole year, which I did. And I posted all of them, but I forgot to tag the admin and then I tagged her, but then Facebook like removed the tag. We all know how Facebook is. And then I never went back to check to make sure that I was on the spreadsheet. So I don't know. So they don't think that I did it. I know I did, and I don't really care. I don't really care whether I get a shout out on Facebook like, yeah, you did it, because it's really just for personal motivation. I don't know. Words are eluding me today, guys. Okay, so there we go. So I did a ton of work on this. And now that I'm back and have started Farewell to Anger, which I will show you guys next, I'm going to be putting the full coverage pieces on a rotation. So I'm going to work on each one for a week and swap them out. And the weeks will be Sunday to Sunday, just because that way it just works better. It works better because everything else is like a Sunday to Sunday, Monday to Sunday, essentially. So that'll be my weeks, Monday to Sunday, and then Monday I'll switch out which one I'm working on. I think I'm going to keep working on Farewell to Anger because I just started it Thursday. So it's only had 4 days, although I've gotten a lot done in that 4 days. It's only had 4 days. So I'm going to give it another week and then I'll start. So I really miss this. Now that I pulled it back out, I want to, because this will be really close, guys. I think like down to here. I'm close. This is the bottom of the book cover. So, yeah, there we go. Harry Potter book covers. So you won't see this next Monday because I won't have worked on it. You will only see Farewell to Anger. So you'll be seeing one full coverage piece each week. It's another reason to move my recording to Mondays because then it'll match up with, you won't have to look at partial progress on both full coverage pieces. You'll just see a week's worth of progress on one full coverage piece every Flosstube. Is that making sense to anybody but me? It only needs to make sense to me, right? We're good. All right. So I worked on Harry Potter book covers. And then I'll just show you. Should I just show you let's just show you Farewell to Anger. You guys. I was so excited to get back to starting this. Oh, which brings me to, sort of, not really, follow my train of thought. It's hard. It's a long and winding road today. But for Christmas, the only Stitchy related thing I got for Christmas, which is fine. We did a very, very low-key Christmas this year. This was essentially the only gift I got, which is fine because I purchased myself plenty of cross-stitch supplies. Except not this year because Stitch from Stash. That's the other thing I'm doing. Stitch from Stash. Stitch from Stash. It's happening. But I did get a new tablet so that I could run Pattern Keeper. I've been marking off my PDF chart for Harry Potter book covers on a really old Kindle Fire. Like, it's one of the first generations Kindle Fire that the kids got when they were like 7 years old, 6 years old, like old Kindle Fire. And I was using Easy PDF Reader and it was working just fine. And then Pattern Keeper came out and I really wanted to use it. And I got it all loaded onto the Kindle, but I think the Kindle is just so old and didn't have like enough internal memory that it just, it couldn't handle. It couldn't handle it. And my techie husband helped me a lot. And he's like, the Fire's just too old. It just does not have the computing capacity for it. So he got me a new tablet to run Pattern Keeper, which I'm in love with. I think it's going to make, it's already this. So I've only been using it so far in Very Well Anger. It's going to make this whole thing. Oh, and then extra special Christmas, like, it's like a special Christmas miracle. Fox and Teacup Designs is now a supported designer. It happened like 2 days before Christmas on Pattern Keeper. So I have both my full coverage projects on there. Makes it so easy to search for symbols and see exactly, like, I don't have to, like, when I'm changing colors, don't have to scan the whole list. You'd think I would have them memorized, but there's like 90 colors. So it's so easy to find the color you need, to not miss any stitches. Oh, I'm in love with it. And you can set diagonals, Pattern Keeper. It's legit, guys. Go get it. Okay, so Farewell to Anger. And I didn't bring a cover sheet. By Heaven and Earth Designs, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. It is a SAL with started by Jan Hicks and Caroline Sook, Czook Stitch. There's quite a few people doing it. Loving following everybody starting on Instagram. I started on the second when we got back, and here is my start so far. So I am stitching Farewell to Anger on 25 count, easy count Lugana, 1/1 full cross. There we go, because I know I'm going to get that question. So there we go. And that's how far I am. I think it's like 1,200 stitches. Look, I can look on Pattern Keeper. Look at this. I can look on Pattern Keeper. This is the other thing I love. So I'm doing this diagonal. So I'm doing diagonal stitching on this one, which is why it'll be hard to just do a page. But because Pattern Keeper keeps your stitch count every day and a running total. Oh, so this is just over 1,200 stitches that I did in like 4 days. And I love the colors. Oh my gosh, so fun. After doing all those browns and stuff on Harry Potter, these colors are so refreshing. I'm keeping it in this bag from Garon Toten Bags on Facebook. I love, this is their big one. Can't remember the size. 13 by 18? I don't know, it's big. It fits my 11 by 11 cross, like Q-snap with room to spare. And then they sent me this awesome matching grime guard. Needle minders are from Abby Top Knot Stitcher on Etsy. Top Knot Stitcher. I think it's just Top Knot Stitcher on Etsy. So there we go. So there's Farewell to Anger. And I'm doing this in diagonals. I don't even have it going the right way, guys. There we go. That's it. This is the top left corner. Top left corner, going in diagonals. And I watched so many tutorials. There's a lot of different ways to stitch the diagonals. Like some people do row by row. Like they do like 10 or 20 stitch rows and then park all the threads over here. And they go row by row by row by row. I am stitching cross country in the diagonal. So like this next diagonal, I actually will start. This was a great tip I got. Don't even remember where I heard it. To start with your bottommost park thread instead of starting up here and dodging all the park threads as you go down. Start with your bottommost park thread. Genius. That has changed my life on Harry Potter book covers and this. And then I just started doing it with this one. But like when I get to these up here, I just go all the way down the diagonal with that thread. And then I come back up. Like once all the park threads are stitched in, then I'll go back up and pick one color and work that color all the way through the diagonal. Does that make sense? So I'm going cross country just within the diagonal. And that's just because I'm lazy and I don't want to rethread my needle with like essentially the same color just because it's one row down. I mean, I can see how that type of meticulous stitching, like you would really never make a mistake. Like I can tell you right now, there's 2 park threads up here that are in the wrong spot. I'll fix it when I get up there, but, and I already made one tiny mistake down here. Can you tell? Hope you cannot. So I can see how that would be really meticulous and you would really like, there's essentially no room for error if you're going row by row, but I feel like I'm faster going cross country in the diagonal. So there we go. There's my start and farewell to anger. This will get another week. I'm shooting to do 200 stitches a day on my full coverage pieces. So even though I'm only working on them a week, like last year I worked on Harry Potter every day and did 100 stitches a day. So if I'm doing 200 stitches a day, and I think with only juggling enchanted stitching and not School of Magical Stitches as well, I can easily do 200 a day on the full coverage piece that is being worked on that week. Yay! Okay, so what else have I worked on? I took with me, because I was finishing up some homework, and I also had this slated as a finish on my December acrostic, which did not happen. The picture in here, I took and worked a little bit on Cardinal Winter by Little House Needleworks. Here's where this is. I just finished up whatever assignment I was working on. So I think this got like 200 or 250 stitches. So there we go. I put in all of this tree, essentially. All of that tree went in. And this is on 18 count Country Mocha Aida with called for colors. And this is going to get some work this week. Actually, I'll just tell you. I'll tell you what I'm going to work on this week. Because look, it's in my lovely planner. Can you guys tell that I am in love with my planner? Thank you, Jen Lee. Okay. Let me see, because I've already written it out, because I did figure that out. Okay, so enchanted stitching, homework. I don't know. It's not homework. I'm going to keep calling it homework because that's what it was called in School of Magical Stitches. The weekly challenges? I don't know. We're doing Peter Pan. The movie this month is Peter Pan. I love Peter Pan. So I'll watch that at some point this month. So the challenges this week are to work on a WIP that needs to get put away, that you love, but it needs to get put away for some reason. Either it's the wrong season or it's a sale and you're waiting for the next part to come out. And I'm going to be working on Cardinal Winter because I feel like if this doesn't get done in the next week or so, then it just is going to get put away because if I'm going to get some spring stuff stitched, I need to move on to spring. So Cardinal Winter is going to fit in for that. The second one has to do with Nana, the kid's nursemaid that is a dog. And so we're supposed to work on a piece that relates to whatever animal or thing we would want as a nursemaid. I'm going to work on Dog's Declaration. I got that super pitiful little start on it. Haven't touched it since. So I'm excited to work on that a little bit. Even though it's like it's not on my acrostic. It's not on the WIP Go board. But I'm going to work on it a little bit. Just a little bit for enchanting stitches. So, because I too would love to have a dog as a nursemaid. Okay, the next one, I can't remember exactly what the challenge is, but you have to stitch in black or gray, and I'm going to work on Promise of Spring because the letters are gray. You'll see it in a moment. And then on something that makes us happy, and I'm going to work on the French Kitchen collection because I love to cook and eat. So food makes me happy. Okay, so that's what I'm working on this week for enchanted stitching. So Cardinal Winter will get a little more work. The other thing that I took with me to Hawaii and worked on, this was the main thing I worked on the plane. I worked on this all the way home. And then I worked, other than on Farewell to Anger, I worked on this relentlessly the first couple days we were back. And got a finish. Yay! First finish of 2020. So, and that is, hold on guys. Hang on just a moment. Okay, I'm back. I didn't want to keep sniffing at you, so I just wanted to blow my nose. And nobody needs to see that. Although now look, all right. My nose is so chapped. Okay, finish. Big, not even a big finish, a little tiny finish. But I finished Snow House. Whew. Guys, that was a lot of snow. That was a lot of snow. So I used this for like the last couple like homework tasks in School Magical Stitches and Enchanting Stitches at the end of the year. And then I worked on it until it was done. There it is, Snow House. And you can see I changed pretty much everything. No, not everything. Okay, so here's what it's how it's charted. So you can see I totally changed up the house. I don't know. I'm not down with a brown house. It doesn't match my decor. My house is gray with a red door. And so, but I didn't want all that gray. So I went with a red house with a gray door and a black roof. That looks my house. And then these little footprints were supposed to be like this really bright turquoise color, but I wanted to pull more of the same border color, so I did it in the same blue as the border color. The smoke was also supposed to be that bright turquoise, and I turned it gray. And then I just did his scarf in the same color as the chimney. So I'll tell you what the colors were that I used for the house and stuff in case you guys care. And now I just need to FFO this so that it can go up. Confession time. Christmas decorations are still up at my house. We had planned to take them down over the weekend, but then I was feeling not great. And the girls all just really wanted to see friends before they had to go back to school. I had to take Sarah, my oldest, back to college yesterday. That was sad. She's right across the water, but it was still a bummer. It was so nice having her home for like a month. She was home for a month. And now she's gone again. Anyway, so Christmas decorations are still up at my house. So I need to get this FFO'd because this weekend they'll come down. And I'm not even mad about it. I don't even really care because it feels like they went up late. We were gone for a week. Christmas decorations can hang around for another week. There's no lights on the front of our house. We're not being those neighbors. It's just all up inside. So, so this, was this called for, this chimney color? I think this was the called for color for the chimney. Let me see. 221. Yes. So that was the called for color for the chimney. And then for the house, I used Manor Red by Classic Colorworks. For the roof, I used Black Coffee by Classic Colorworks. And for the door, I used Barn Gray by Gentle Arts. And then the trim I did in Black Coffee. And then the tree I used Blue Spruce by Weeks Dye Works for the tree. And the white, guys, is Sulky. I used one strand of Sulky thread. And I'll show you real close because no, it looks pretty good even in there. I was like a little like, This is 28 count Monaco in the color tea dyed. I didn't tea dye it. That's what it said on the package, tea dyed. And so it's really like a 14, right? Which I would normally use 2 strands of. They say Sulky's 2, but I think it's more like 1.5. But I liked it. And I loved stitching 1 strand of white. So it does give a little different texture because I was using 2 strands of the DMC. So it does give a little, like texture wise, it does look a little different, but since it's snow, I didn't think that that really mattered because snow is like kind of powdery. I don't know if you can kind of see it, but I really like the coverage of 1 strand of Sulky. I was just fine with it. I think it would be fantastic on a 32 or 36, 1 strand of Sulky white. So there you go. There is my Sulky white feedback for anybody who cares. All right, so there's my finish of Snow House by Lizzie Kate, and take the needle mind off that. And that is an $8 credit for Stitch from Stash. There we go, my very first Stitch from Stash 2020 finish. Yay! All right, so now just to get that FFO'd and get everything put away. All right, so Then when I got back, I started working on the pieces that got pulled on my WIP Go board. And the first one is Promise of Spring by Silver Creek Samplers. And I started this for Annie Joyfield Stitcher's birthday. And I got no done. That was as far as I got. No. So I've gotten some more letters in. I am stitching this on an 18 count Aida in Sterling by Picture This Plus, which is not the called for. And I am changing some of the colors too. So this is how far I've gotten. I've been working on some of the words. Love it. There is a bunch of white at the bottom of this. I'm trying to decide. I had originally planned to do B5200, but I think I might change it to sulky. I'm going to give it a try with the sulky white because I really like stitching with one strand, and I think on an 18 count Aida, it's going to look fantastic. Yeah, I do. So we'll see. I had originally planned to do B5200, but I'm not going to put my initials and date down here. I think I might just add a couple of extra sprigs of grass. That's my plan. Yeah, so there's that. I can't remember what it calls for, but I'm not using the called for the lettering. I am using Zack Black by Classic Colorworks. I think it called for Onyx, and it was just, I don't know, it looked too stark for me. I didn't have Onyx, so it would have been black, and black just looked too stark, I thought. So I'm using Zack Black. It's a nice variegated gray. And then everything else will be called for, except for the white, which I'll do in sulky. So there we go. And you guys are going to see more of this because I'm going to be working on this, hoping to finish this month. And honestly, it's not that big, and it feels like it's going fast. It could be just because I'm working on the letters right now and the wording, and I like stitching wording, and I feel like wording goes quick. So there's Promise of Spring, and I'll be working on that some more this week. And then I also was working on, when I got home, my other project that was called for WIP Go, which is Apples and Sage by Hands On Design. And this is part of the French Kitchen Club Kit from Inspired Needle. So there's 4 of them. 3 I got, you'll see in haul. The 3rd one came. Still haven't finished the first one yet. And it's a collaboration with Hands On Design and Summer House Stitchworks. So this one is by Hands On Design. And I'm using all the called for that came in the kit. So it is a 32 count linen in chocolate milk by Hand Dyed by Stephanie. And all Weeks Dye Works. And this is where I got. So when I left it, so I have put in, since I've been back, I put in these leaves and this shelf and the white picture. So now, other than a little bit of detail, oh, and then I started this big bunch of rosemary down here. So other than the little details on the kitchenware, I don't know, what are we calling that? The whole top half is done. Yay, so I feel like if I keep working on this, I could totally get a finish on this, and it would be nice to have it hanging up, and then I could start another one because they're coming faster than I stitch. I did make a mistake. You can see there's a little, it's not a solid line. There's a little break in the middle. I don't know, cold meds. And then I have made several mistakes this weekend. Maybe stitching while on cold meds is not the best idea, but what are you gonna do? Like, you feel cruddy, you're sitting on the couch, might as well stitch. I got stuff done even if I had to pull it out. This little picture, I had left off a leaf, so this little picture was in the wrong place, so I had to pull it out. There were mistakes. There was some frogging and restitching this weekend, but it's fine because in general, forward motion. 3 steps forward, 1 step back, still forward motion. So there we go. So there's Apples and Sage. This will get more work this week. And I'm hoping to finish that this month. So far, I'm loving WIP Go, and I'm loving focusing on what I have because I have lots of great projects. There we go. So, and then I did have one more new start yesterday that I made 2 mistakes on. 3rd time's the try. 3rd time's the charm. And now we're rolling. So I started Suffrage Act. Yay! This is a stitch along that the wonderful ladies of Stitching with the Sisterlies, if you're not watching them, go watch them. They're hysterical. I adore them and can't wait to meet them soon. Soon I will get to meet them, hopefully. So Suffragette. It's a stitch along with the lovely ladies of Stitching with the Sisterlies, and Michelle Bendy's doing this as well. I watched her Flosstube this morning. Go watch her Flosstube. She talks about, she's making some changes, or really some additions to the chart that are, I wish I thought of it. I love her. I admire her. I am going to probably copy her a little bit, but I already cut my fabric. Well, I didn't cut my fabric. It was a piece from a grab bag, and so it's small, and I don't have a lot of margin. Suffragette is a chart for the 100th anniversary of the suffragette, women getting the right to vote. But as Michelle points out, this was white women getting the vote, and there are a lot of people that did not still have the vote in 1920, and so she's including the dates of when a lot of other groups were finally able to have their voice be heard, which I love so, so much. And I'm hoping that I can add some of those years just right along the bottom. We'll see when I get down there if I have enough margin to do it. Even if it's just small, like even if I can just do it in like little backstitch dates, or I can find a tiny alphabet, maybe 1/1. Maybe I do a 1/1 and get those dates in there. I would love to do that because that is a fantastic idea. Anyway, join us in the SAL. We're starting this month. You can start whenever, and the goal is to finish by November when the election comes. Guys, 2020 is off to a rough start. It's gonna be a rough year. Hang on. Stitching's gonna keep me sane. Okay, so I am doing this in all the called for colors. It called for a silk weaver fabric. I don't have. And so I was pulling something from a stash, because Stitch from Stash, and I found this piece of color and cotton, and this is my first time stitching on color and cotton fabric. I love it. But this was a piece that came in their grab bag, so I don't know what it is. I'm thinking maybe it's tea leaves. And there is my blazing start. Because it was a grab bag piece, it's a little tight top and bottom, and I originally put the short margin on the side because cold meds, and I put this whole line in and then had to tear it out. You can kind of see, I turned the fabric so it would have some time to like relax. You can see where I pulled it out, maybe up here. Anyway, so there it is, but it started, and this is gonna get, I have this slated for a Enchanting Stitches monthly, because there's something about something with a lady on it, or a girl or lady. And so this is gonna get at least 1,000 stitches this month, but there's my start. And that is, I think it's Classic Colorworks Cherry Cobbler. Oh, that color. Is that right? Yes, Cherry Cobbler. Oh my gosh, you guys. The color, so good. Okay, so Suffragette, stitch along with us. The hashtag is SWTS Suffrage, Stitching with the Sisterlies Suffrage Sal. Pretty sure that's it. I'll put it below so you can see it. I will double check. So post up your progress on the Sal. We'd love to have you stitch along. It's a great chart, and I actually don't think it's going to take too long, and you have until November. I would like to have it fully finished and up in the house before election day. Okay, so that's it. That's all the WIPs I have to show you guys. There's probably going to be fewer WIPs, honestly, every week. Maybe? I don't know. I don't know if that's true. But potentially, because I'm doing WIP Go, so I'm going to really be focusing on those two pieces. There'll probably be maybe some more finishes. I do need to get my February yearbook started and finished too this month. Okay, haul, because I did have stuff come in. I had my mail held, and I did go on a little last minute. It's like, you know, it's like when you're like going to start a diet on Monday, so you eat all the things on the weekend. I'm going on a Stitch from Stash diet. Bought all the, not all the things, but I did buy some things. Okay. First things first. This was my, like, Krista, I literally bought this, gave it to my husband, said put it in my stocking. I got one of the little Krynic cording. Oh! Packaging is not sturdy. I don't think I had opened it yet. Maybe I had. Let me get off the floor. Hang on. It's a little quarter. Because I've been making cording and doing my own FFOing, and I've been using an electric drill, which works, but it's big and heavy, and I kind of need an extra set of hands because it's big and heavy. So very excited for my little cording, my little cording machine. I'm going to be a cording maker crazy. I don't know. But I liked how easy it was to follow Vanna's tutorials. Once again, Vanna Pfeiffer, genius tutorials. I also ordered from, what is this from? Oh, from Mystic Fabrics. She had a big, like, clean out all of her fabric inventory and pattern inventory. Like, she just put just a ton of stuff up, and it was really good prices. So I got a piece of this fabric. I don't know that I've ever stitched anything on blue, guys, but when I was going through my fabric stash for, sorry, to find something for Suffrage Act yesterday, I apparently buy a lot of blue fabric. I apparently really like blue fabric, but look how pretty this is. 32 count linen, big sky. And it's just really pretty light blue. I apparently really like blue fabric. I need to find patterns to stitch on blue fabric because this is now probably my third or fourth piece of blue fabric. What patterns do you all like? Tell me, what patterns do you love on blue? It's coming up brighter than it is. It's not that bright. It's a pale blue, really pretty. And then she just had a whole bunch of patterns. And they were good prices, and some of them were ones that have been on my wish list, so I bought them. This one I just thought was adorable, and I think when she invoiced me, she gave it to me as a freebie. Look at that. Ink circles, little dotty, Biscornu. I really want to make one. It's my first Biscornu pattern. Holiday Hoopla Easter. I could do that on blue. Change his shirt color. Arranging leaves, because I just love this whole series, and leaves. And this one, Quaker Sewing Tray. That's just been on my wish list for a while. I don't know when I'll stitch it, but I really like it. And I want to put it in a little wood tray just like that. Okay, so I got that from Misty at Mystic Fabrics. That order. I also placed an order with Starlight Stitchery because Michelle Bendy told me to. And I do what she tells me to because she's a genius. And I admire her. So she's talked about Starlight Stitchery. They are in Oregon, Corvallis. They're in Corvallis. And I knew that like she had done live sales from there. And I knew it was a store in Corvallis, but that's kind of far for me. I don't go to Corvallis ever. But I did not realize they have a website. And they have so much stuff on their website. I don't know. Michelle talked about it in one of her Flossmas videos. They have like this huge backstock. It sounds like the store was sold and the new owners like are going through all of like the back room. The original owner maybe didn't care so much about keeping an inventory. So they just put stuff up on their site and you can find like so much stuff that I've never seen before. I placed an order and then I almost placed a second order. I did restrain myself because you could just go to Starlight Stitchery and just go to cross stitch patterns, go alphabetical. There's like 78 pages. You'll see stuff you've never seen before. I went and just thought, let's see, because Michelle said, hey, they sometimes have like random amount of print stuff that has just been sitting in their back room and they sell it for retail. And I thought, let's just go see if they have like any of my unicorn charts just sitting there. They had one. Boom. Without a Mouse, Blackbird Designs. I saw Jen Lee stitch this year. And I think it's one of their reward of merit, but you can't get it. $8. That's what I paid for it. $8. I was so happy. So this, I think, is going to be a mania start this year. I love this. No house without a mouse, which is so not true because I just paid exterminators a whole bunch of money to get mice out of my house. But it's adorable. And then because you can't just order one thing, and because I was perusing, luckily I only had like 40 minutes before I had to be somewhere else, because otherwise I would have spent hours and bought way more stuff. Starlight Stitchery, I'll link them below. I got, there's 3 sets of these chalkboard ornaments. I love the set I have. I really like this one. I'm not sure I'll stitch the 3rd one, but I like that one, so I got that. And then they have this cute one that came out this year, Have a Cool Yule. And it's charted for the sulky threads that Cranberry Christmas, like that Cranberry Christmas set, but I can do those, I think, in the same colors as that I have for these. So I plan to stitch that in the same colors as these chalkboard ones. So I got, I think I just pushed you. That was not nice of me. Okay, so I got some more 16 count chalkboard Aida to do those on. Home for Christmas, Plum Street samplers, because it's amazing. Because Paula's is genius and everybody wants to stitch it. Me too. Don't know when I'll stitch that. This has been on my wish list for quite a while, and I just pulled the trigger on it. Peace on Earth by Kathy Barrick. And look at that owl. There is like a whole forest in that owl's wings. That's amazing. I love it. Okay, I want to stitch that someday. And then this, there were so many Homespun Elegance. Guys, I don't think I'd ever really noticed their charts before. They have a bunch of Starlight Stitchery. I don't know. I wish I had bought more of them, but I only got this one, which is Merry Meowies. Because look how cute. It's Christmas cats. That's adorable. And you can do all 3 together or do little ornaments. They're so cute. So, but I don't think I really ever noticed Homespun Elegance patterns. They have a ton, and there's so many cute ones. So that's all I got from Starlight Stitchery. I could have bought easily like 30 more things. Easily. They have so much cool stuff on their website. Go check them out. Especially now because I know I got the one unicorn chart of mine. I think they might have had more than one copy of that though, because I don't think it showed sold out after I bought it. So if you're looking for No House Without a Mouse, that might be where you get it. Okay, and then also while I was gone, the next part of the French Kitchen collection arrived. So you always get the mat board. I bought the kit with the horn book that it shows. So the very first kit came with the horn book, and then they send you a pre-cut mat board with each one so you can switch them out. And this is the new one. It is Strawberries and Mint. And this is the second one of hands-on design. So the last one will be Summer House Stitchworks. But look at that. Look at the little strawberry baskets and the pots of mint. And you can do them like this, or it tells you like you can do them, this little border on the bottom matches up across all 4. So you could do them as 4 panels on one piece of fabric and that border would match up. Does that make sense? And this is on 32 count French Blue by Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. So it came with the, look, blue. I'm going to stitch something on blue fabric, but not the blue fabric I already own. And then it comes with all of the called for flosses. Look how pretty that is. And this one came with a cute little zappy dot that matches. That says Strawberries Mint in French, which I'm not going to pronounce for you guys because I will probably do it wrong, even though I took French in high school. I went to France with my high school group. That was a lot of years ago, people. Not going to butcher any French for you today. Okay. The last thing that I got was a 2020 purchase. So this goes against my Stitch from Stash credit that I had to. And that is this chart from Lollipop Stitches. Michelle Bendy's charity of the month this month is Parkinson's. So all of her weekly auction stuff is going to the Michael J. Fox Foundation. And I think that's wonderful. Drew's grandfather suffered from Parkinson's for years and years before he passed away. It was really hard to watch. I'm sure it was way harder, way harder for him. And he was so sharp, so it was hard to see him not be able to control himself and still not be able to do the things he wanted to do because his mind was still so sharp. Anyway, this is a charity pattern from Lollipop Stitches, and it is a quote from Dr. E. Brown from Back to the Future. Hold on, I'm just a little trippy. That's, your future hasn't been written yet. No one's has. Your future is whatever you make it, so make it a good one. That's from Back to the Future. And all the proceeds from the sale of the chart, she is donating to the Michael J. Fox Foundation. So after covering Etsy fees. I think it must be listed for £6 because Lolly's in the UK. So it was like $5 and change US for me. It changes with the exchange rate, but I don't know when I'm going to stitch it, but I love that quote. Like, that really resonated with me. Like, even I immediately thought of it for my girls who kind of have their whole future ahead of them. And I know as a teen, sometimes they feel like they don't have control over a lot of their life, or like other people, even like with college admissions and stuff, have control over their lives. But there was something about the future is what you make it. And then I thought, I'm a middle-aged woman and that still applies to me. So future's not written yet. Make it a good one. And it feels especially important this year. So where the world is literally on fire. Literally and figuratively on fire. So it's whatever we make it, and we need to put in the work to make the future what we want it to be. Michelle also has an amazing charity pattern out. I will link hers below as well. It's a quote about acceptance from Michael J. Fox that one hit home too, but I picked up this one. I chose this one. Buy them both. I don't know. Like, they're both fantastic. So I'll link this below, Lollipop Stitches. So that was my one purchase for this week. But I already have an $8 credit, so that was like free. See how that's like, when my house, that's what we call Mickey math. When you're like, well, if we're going to the park for 3 days, we should really go for 4 because a $4 ticket is only like, $15 more. Mickey math. Where you spend money to save money. That's that's kind of how this feels. It's like, oh, well, I had to finish, so that chart was free. Sure it was. Okay. Guys, of course, it's been an hour. And yeah, so that's all I have for you guys. Oh, giveaway. I didn't do a giveaway on my last Flosstube because it was going to be a little while before I came back, and look, it was even longer than I thought. But we're going to do a giveaway this week, and I'm going to pass the stash on Snow House. So I used the little snowflake button. So it's just the chart. However, I do have more if you want it. So if whoever wins says yes, I do have more of the same 28 count tea-dyed even weave that I stitched mine on. So I will give you some fabric to go with it if you want it. If you say, I don't really want to stitch on 28 count Monaco, okay, I won't send it to you. But if you want it, it's yours. And the pattern. So we're just gonna make this easy. If you would like to stitch this, say, I would like to stitch the snow, because it's Snow House. So I would like to stitch the snow, because you will be stitching row and row and row and row of snow. But it's a cute little winter pattern. You could easily knock that out. Like, seriously, I think I really did it in like 4 days of concerted effort. That's all I have for you guys this week. I hope you guys had a wonderful new year. I hope your 2020 is off to a good start. I'm so happy to be back, and so happy to have a whole year of stitching ahead of me, because this time last year, I didn't know anything about, like, I was picking up like my very first projects of Etsy patterns, because I had finished the stocking. So like, I didn't know anything. I didn't know Flosstube existed. I didn't know Facebook challenge groups existed. I had never been in an LNS. And so I'm excited to like January, like the beginning of January, to have a whole stitching year ahead of me. And there's going to be lots of fun stitch alongs and so many fun things happening. So, and I'm so grateful that we're on this ride together. So that's all I've got. I hope you guys have a great week, and I'll be back next Monday, hopefully with maybe a cocktail. Ooh, no, next Monday. I will record on Monday, but it'll be Monday morning, so I'll probably have coffee. Because next Monday I am going to, in the afternoon, drive over to meet up with the Kitsap stitching group. I couldn't do First Thursday because it was literally the day we got back. So I didn't go down to First Thursday, and I'm missing our Eastside Stitching meetup this month as well because it's the girls' dance show that day. And I'm having stitchy group withdrawals. So I'm crashing in on the Kitsap Stitchers next Monday. So, but I will record before then. And until then, hope you guys have a wonderful week. Cheers.